Within the last 2 weeks, there was a report published that included two IRS researchers from our RAS organization that indicated that the top 1% of all taxpayers by high income account for as much as an additional $175 billion in the tax gap computations. And that's associated with their look at only two issues, which were pass-through entities and offshore income associated with the top 1%. If you aggregate the points that I'm talking about and you look at the fact that there's a current estimate by folks on the outside that the tax gap is $7.5 trillion over the next 10 years, and you add in the component pieces that I've referenced, there are more. I've just referenced the ones that are most highly visible at this point. If you add those in, I think it would not be outlandish to believe that the actual tax gap could approach and possibly exceed $1 trillion per year.
In contrast to the narrative that's spun by corporate Democrats and Republicans alike, it turns out the rich are not paying their fair share in taxes. And in fact, what some have argued is that this tax gap, the difference between what the rich owe in taxes and what's actually been recovered, could be used to pay for a substantial amount of the spending that Joe Biden has planned over the next few years. So yesterday, economist Stephanie Kelton pointed out that instead of engaging in this argument over how much to raise the corporate tax rate, which is rather absurd in and of itself, since Joe Biden is just talking about restoring them to pre-Trump levels, still some corporate Democrats are rejecting that. So why not focus the conversation more on the fact that even under the current tax regime, you could get trillions more in revenue if you actually just had the proper enforcement mechanisms in place?